So it's been a long night and a long day for you guys. So it's been a long night. You said they have to move.
I recorded it, and so then it.
Marty, not supposed to do
But it
that.
wasn't only posted, yeah,
Okay.
is it posted? It came in, actually, yes, Marty had sent out an email that it.
Yes.
Good evening, I call this regular council meeting for February 24th, 2026 to order at 7:56 PM. Ready? Begin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I please get a moment of silence? Marty will now do roll call.
Councilmember Olivares,
Here.
Councilmember Sotelo,
Here.
Councilmember Alvarado,
Here.
Councilmember Zavala,
Here.
Councilmember De La Fuente,
Here.
Mayor Gonzalez.
Here. So we will be moving on to item number 3. Could I please get a motion on the meeting agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
I have a motion by Council Member Sotelo, second by Council Member De La Fuente. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to item number 4. Could I please get a motion on the consent agenda? Letter A through I.
I'll make a motion, we pass the consent agenda A through I.
I have a motion by Council Member Zavala,
I'll second it.
second by Council Member Alvarado. Any discussion?
Yeah,
Yes. Go ahead.
I have a question about. When are we able to get these in the email so we can go over it before the meeting?
They are.
Not the agenda,
Oh,
the claims
okay.
on the consent agenda. there.
Okay.
So we can go over, have time to go over it before the meeting.
Okay, yeah, we can start that for next meeting.
Thank you.
What are these $88,000 vouchers for and $82,000 for? That's a lot. Is that annually or is that?
No. They're the claim vouchers in your packet.
This is for the last month, right? Cause they didn't get done the last meeting.
Correct.
So this is for two pay periods.
If you go on page-
Because we didn't have the regular meeting last time, and we just only have a special meeting to, yeah, so that's why it seems like.
No, that's the kind of bills and everything.
Okay.
Any other discussion or question? All in favor?
I.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is visitors' comments. This is an opportunity for members of the public to address the city council. Please state your name for the record before speaking. Comments are limited to 5 minutes per speaker. We ask that remarks be directed to the council as a whole and be respectful and courteous. Is there anyone that would like to address the council at this time? Mari, do we have anybody online?
No, Mayor.
Seeing that there are no further comments, visitors' comments is now closed. Moving on to new business A, approval of ordinance 2026-128. Can I please get a motion?
I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 2026.
I thought we were gonna table them.
That one.
No, we just decided not to, but you gotta make sure we put the times and the dates has changed.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
this is
day.
for the meeting.
This isn't the policies and procedures. Is that what you're thinking?
No, it is.
No, they're-
Oh, yes, okay, yes.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna change our regular council meeting to Wednesday. From 6. At 6:37, whatever you're right.
And 7 is right.
So is it gonna be every second Wednesday and fourth Wednesday, or is it gonna be
It'll be,
second
the-
Wednesday and the?
it'll be the same, just, I
Second
mean,
and fourth.
yeah, it'll be the same.
Mhm.
Just one. Study sessions.
I'll second
I'm sorry, I didn't.
We're,
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I have a motion by Council Member Zavala and a second by Council Member Alvarado. Any discussion? Sorry, Sotelo. Cause I so sorry. All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carried. Okay, moving on to business B, resolution 2026-11. Can I please get a motion?
Make a motion to approve resolution 2026-11.
I have a motion by Council Member Sotelo,
I'll second it.
second by Council Member Alvarado. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to new business C, resolution 2026-12. Can I please get a motion?
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-12. And this is. And I think this is changed to adding,
We're gonna add it to the end of the study session.
add,
Yes,
customer,
yes, yes,
comments at the end of the study session.
yes.
Leave it the way it is for the.
And leave it the same for a council meeting.
I have a motion by Council Member Sotelo,
I'll second it.
second by Council Member Olivares. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. So now we will move on to staff reports. Any reports? No, okay. Chief, do you have anything to report?
Just probably the sale of those 3 cars. We got $1,600 for each one, so a total of $4,800. And either tomorrow or the next day, the gentleman will be bringing a check to City Hall.
And Chief, we're using that money towards the new car that you're gonna get, right?
I have no clue.
I was trying, I would
Well, you know,
suggest that if you can. If you can do it like that, it'd be better that way.
yeah.
I don't take care of finance, so.
Yes, so
We did.
we did. So the thing is it's, like I said, it comes out of the general fund, so yes, it's gonna be used for that. Yes, yes, which we did, yes, we did, purchase that vehicle.
And it was 4,600?
Huh?
46, what, the,
No, no,
for the surplus?
For the
That's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
4,800,
Surplus.
4,800.
48, yes. Okay, City Attorney Drew, do you have anything to report?
Only that there will be some additional work that I am working on with the mayor specifically. You know, I mentioned this point at some point about looking to find ways to modernize the code. There will be kind of chunks and sections that will be brought to your attention over time. On that part of the process is number one is to meet your immediate needs. If there's something that I identified that you're going to be that, hey, this is causing an issue today, that's going to get priority over something else, that might not be as much priority. And again, to give context to that, last fall, the previous council had adopted building codes, and that was specifically to address, specific nuisance properties that were known to the city at the time. So those are the kinds of things we're going to be working on, and obviously working with the staff and with Mari and Sophie and the mayor as they need to meet the legal needs of the city.
We will be moving on. Thank you, Drew. Sorry. We will be moving on to reports of the mayor. I'll start that off. Like I said, I attended an AWC training. It was mayor as CEO, and also the mayor exchange. That was February 11th and February 12th. And some of the things that, we talked about in there, like I said, about, how it would be a good idea to have a workshop with our council members, and I talk about, our roles and responsibilities. Another thing that they talked about is also just encouraging, our council members to, be looking on AWC website for any trainings or any workshops that, they provide. Also the MRSC website. Another thing that we discussed was, obviously one thing that they did discuss is we have some newly elected mayors, and they talked about how, give yourself grace, as a new mayor, and also as encouraging your council members to also give themselves some grace if they're new to the job. And then one thing that we talked about is social media, and how, especially, now, how to use that to kind of, get the word out for anything that's going on in our city or any changes that we're making. And so I know that I talked to Madi, we would like for it to, we want to start a new Facebook page, where we'll provide, obviously, like, for example, the change of, the date change of our meetings, any resources, if there's anything that you guys would like, that you see that you would like for us to share, it can be either emailed or text to us. What else? And I think one thing that we want to do is, it's going to be more of an informative, so it's not going to be like open for comments. A lot of the cities, that's one thing that they do, is they, unless they want feedback, they'll open up the comment, but for the most part, it's closed comments. There's no comments. It's just more of a, yeah. And so it's, like I said, it's more of just providing information, resources, things like that, any events coming up. Also, I'd like to collaborate with the school so that they can also give us information as to, maybe we can start posting their sports schedules, things like that, events that are going on, parent meetings that are happening, obviously their school board. I know that Elise also welcomed for us to, we can also provide information that maybe we want to have them put on like their parent square. Anytime there's anything that, we want to share with parents, or, residents who are parents. Let's see, I think that was it. Yeah. So yes, we will start this new Facebook page, and I wanna try to, my goal is to launch it before our next, council meeting. So here next week in March. Any, council member Olivares, do you have anything you would like to report?
Yeah, I got quite a bit of things I want to discuss. I wanna know how much money does Mapleton really have? Anybody know?
We don't have it with us today, but if you want to come into the office and talk to Sophie, you're more than welcome to.
Well, that's one of the things about it is that. When we ask for this information, why can't we get it? Like. Why do I have to go to the office and get my information? If I say,
We don't have a number off the top of our head. I
nobody
mean,
knows how much money the city has right now. Nobody has an idea of how much money the city has? Do we have $1 million? Do we have $2 million? Do we have $1.5 million? What do we have? If we don't know what we have, then how do you know what we're playing with? That's the thing about it. And to me, that's pretty important. Because I'm here to represent the people of Mapleton. I'm not here for my own personal gain. I'm here to represent the people of Mapleton. And I need to know this information so that I know where we stand.
Was it at the end of our budget, was it there,
I
when
didn't
you
see
go through
nothing.
the budget, is it there a beginning down for the following year?
No. No, there wasn't.
Not where we end up at?
No. I haven't found anything as to how much we got. They just made up a budget and said, this is our budget for the coming year. We need you to approve it. So you guys approved it, just so we wouldn't get fined. That's the only reason the budget was approved. But nobody had, they didn't say anything about what was rolled over from the previous year, or how much we have coming in this year, or when does that money come in? There's no information like that. So how do we know what we're playing with? And we're at the beginning of the year right now. How do we know what we're playing with to get us through the year? That's my question. Okay, what I would really like, and I think the rest of the council would agree with me, is I would like a pie chart. Not a bar graph, I want a pie chart. I would like a pie chart that tells you, break it down by department. You guys say that every department has their budget, but it's all in the general fund. Okay? I want a pie chart of what each department has. First of all, I want the total amount of money that Mapleton has first. Then I want that broken down. I would really like that broken down in the pie chart per department. Whether it's police department, fire department, works department, office, miscellaneous, and then the remainder balance in the general fund. That's what I would like to see. That way we know how much money we're playing with and what we can do with that money as far as in the future, whether it's 2 months from now or it's 8 months from now. And I would like that at least once a month. Because we need to be on top of our finances, our expenditures, so that we don't end up in the hole the way we are right now. Because right now we're in a deep hole and we gotta figure out a way how to get out of it. And that's just not the city, that's every department. And in order to get out of these holes, we need to understand our finances as a council so that we know how to make adjustments. And if we can get out of the hole one department at a time, better yet, because we're not gonna be able to do all of them at once. I don't foresee that. So if we can start out with this, at least that gives us an idea of where we're at every month throughout the year. Another thing. You just talked about a Facebook page. I think that's a good idea. Probably the best way to keep people informed as to what's going on, especially Hispanic people. You know. Maybe their kids can jump on Facebook and say, hey, mom and dad, look what the city of Naples is gonna do, or whatever it may be. Another thing. I know there was a meeting. With the police department, the mayor. And the lawyer. If we're gonna be talking about transparency. Anything that has to do with the union rep. I wanna know about. Because if it has anything to do with finances, I wanna be informed. In order for me to do my job, or in order for the rest of these council members to do their job, we need to know this information. So I would really appreciate it if we can be informed on things that go on, especially things like that. You guys might not see it as a big issue, but I do. Because I'm here for the residents. I'm here for the people that pay taxes in this town. And I need this information in order for me to be able to do my job to represent them.
I wanna address that. There are certain things in those meetings we cannot make public,
Okay,
and that's why we don't talk to everybody about them.
okay,
And it only has to do with an employee. That's why union gets involved.
Yeah.
There's laws that you gotta go by that we cannot break because everybody wants to know about. That's what, if there's an issue, we will let you know. But these employees have rights. That we can't discuss them with everybody. That's why we have the mayor. It's a strong mayor community. She was there. The attorney was there. We have the people that need to be there. That's what we did. We cannot just discuss everything that's going on. You wouldn't want it as an employee, everybody discussing your business. That's the way our employees are too.
okay, the only thing I have to say about that, Chief Soto, is that I really appreciate that. I appreciate the explanation, because I don't think anybody on this council is aware of that. But I do thank you very much for that information. Now I know where we stand, and that's all I ask. That's all I ask.
Gotcha.
I wanna know where we stand, but if it has anything to do with finances, we need to be aware of that.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for that explanation.
Sure.
So council member, to kind of build off of what Chief said. Whenever there's a situation, whether it's involving, anytime there's a situation where there has to be an expenditure of money, the council has to approve that expenditure. So a really super classic example is, let's just say that the city of Mapton was sued by somebody. Doesn't matter what the suit is, it doesn't be employer or not. And there was to be a settlement. And we were able to come to some agreement that the settlement amount was $15,000. We couldn't just enter that agreement for $15,000 without council's approval. In other words, and I want to make this point really, really clear, in the context of anything involving employment and employment grievances, if coming out of a grievance or a lawsuit involving employee, that there is a potential for a settlement that involves a monetary amount, we are required to bring that to your attention, and for you to have approval, it would be brought into you by executive session to explain this is what is going on, this is where they've landed, this is where we landed, and have that conversation, and the council either can approve it or reject it. So I just want to say that to allay your fears that somehow the city, anybody, whether that's the chief, the attorney, or the mayor, can simply just enter into an agreement that expends money that hasn't already been allocated by council. I just really want to make that really clear for yourself and for everyone else on the council.
No, thank you very much, Drew. I appreciate that. The only reason I was asking Drew is because I know for a fact that the city of Mapton ended up paying roughly around $80,000 in lawsuits without council even knowing anything about it till after the fact. And those are things that concern me, because that's city money, that's taxpayers' money They deserve to know
Mhm.
where their money's going.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes down to lawsuits, they deserve to know that too.
But when did that happen?
Last year, the year
You-
before,
Our council approved it?
they weren't aware of it. It was all done behind closed doors. And that's the thing, that's the thing about it. And that's why I'm asking these questions, because this is not gonna get by us no more. It got by in the last 4 years, but we're not gonna do that anymore.
So,
We're gonna stand our ground, and we're gonna stand our ground, and we're gonna do what we have to do as council members when it comes down to finances. So thank you very much for your
Does
explanation.
anybody have anything to say on that? Yeah. Oh,
They were announced at council. It was presented at council.
and I'm very sorry, Mary, if I may interject.
yes.
The conversations about a settlement offer and agreement, settling a lawsuit, those are conversations that are protected as attorney-client privileged. And so that's the reason why it's behind closed doors, is to protect the privilege. The moment that we have that conversation out in the open, opens up not only pierces the attorney-client privilege as it comes to that conversation, but also pierces the privilege for all other actions that the attorneys took on behalf of the city. All legal advice, all of the thing could potentially come into the public. And fundamentally, that typically doesn't end well for a client, whether it's a city, a person, or an organization, because in order to have kind of the more frank conversations with your counsel, you have to have the assurance that any part of the conversation you're having with counsel is going to remain confidential, because the counsel might reveal things to you that are not appropriate for public consumption. So, our firm came on board, I think, in May or June of this year. So I cannot speak of last year, excuse me. So I cannot speak for what occurred before, Julie Norton and Ogden Murphy Wallace and myself came on. I can tell you that the one time that we did have a situation about settling a lawsuit, while I was involved, we had the conversation about what the settlement terms were. We had it behind closed doors in an executive session, but then the council came out and took action based off of the conversation that occurred in executive session, which they are allowed to do, and is how these things should be handled. I would never recommend to any council or any council member to have conversations with me, Julie, or any other attorney that's representing the city out in the public like that. That's an invitation for disaster.
Okay? Another thing. You know what, Drew? As I'm bringing these things up, you let me know if I can discuss them or not, okay? That way I don't go on. You can just cut me off and say, hey, Ruben, or however you want to address me. No, you can't discuss that. Just let me know and I'll stop, all right? Okay, here's another thing. My understanding is, I'm not gonna mention no names, but there was a meeting. After that meeting was discussed, I was supposed to be informed on what the outcome was. I never was informed. I don't think anybody was. I come to find out what the outcome was through an email. And that email is stating that there's a chance, I don't know if this is still in deliberation or not, but there's a chance that Mapton might be losing out on $11,598.50. Was that because of negligence? Was that because somebody just decided, you know what, I'm not gonna do nothing about it? But that's a good chunk of change that Mapton could have had for revenue. But by the looks of it, from the email that was sent to me, Baptist's not gonna see that money. And that's unfortunate.
I think that things like this, I don't think that we should, you know, for reports is more of, is there something that, you want to, you know, make an announcement or something that's happening, or you heard, gosh,
Event.
an event that's coming up, or, you know, it's not so much about asking questions as to why did this happen, why did that, you know, something else not happen. That's something that you need to come to me and ask me about. It's not something that we can be discussing here, or should be discussing here.
The way I see it is that I'm here for a reason. And that reason is to represent the residents of Mapton. And by me doing what I'm doing right now, I hope that that shows the residents of Mapton that I am here for them, not for myself. And that's why I'm stating the things that I am. Whether people agree with me or not, you know what, that's on them. But I am representing the city of Mapton, and I'm gonna do what I have to do to keep them informed on what's going on. And if there's things that that I'm talking about that I shouldn't be, especially if it comes down to legal matters, and I would expect Drew to put a stop to it and say, no, Ruben, you can't talk about that, and I won't talk about it. But right now, the things that I'm bringing up, I think the public should be aware of it. And that's where we come back to transparency, because I'm gonna be as transparent as I possibly can to keep the residents informed. That's my job as a council member, and I'm gonna do my job.
But when you speak on, sorry, when you speak on transparency, I understand that, but how is that being transparent with me as the mayor? And you, the council member?
I'm being transparent to the people of Mapton. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to represent the people of Mapton. I'm not here to represent the mayor. I'm not here to represent the clerk. I'm here to represent the residents of Mapton.
Okay, we can, okay, we'll have to.
I brought this question up in January about a forensic audit. I still haven't gotten a response. I asked if they could look into it to see what the cost was gonna be. I still haven't gotten a response. We're already getting into March. My question is, my concern as far as the forensic audit, I think it would be beneficial for the city of Mapton to find out what really happened these past 4 years. Because if people can be held accountable for that, then I hope they get held accountable for it.
Sorry, Drew.
You know, and I just wanted to add, and I think, and I know at one point Councilmember Sotelo had asked for my contact information. I want to make myself available for the council members if they have questions about, and I really want to focus on and want to make clear that this offer is kind of to help you guys do your job. And so, council member, you were talking about like, hey, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this. If you've got questions about that, I am happy to have a conversation with you and talk through it with you and kind of give you some of the guardrails. I'm happy to be available. Mari and Sophie and the mayor have my contact information. I'm also happy to just give you guys my contact information. I'm happy to email it to you so you have it. I'm happy to do that because if that will help, answer some of the questions so that when you deliberate on the city's business, you know that you're on solid ground. I think that would be better for you. And again, this is, I'm talking to you directly, Councilman, because you're asking these questions, but this offer is to everybody on council. And again, I know Councilmember Sotelo, you had at one point asked for my contact information. I hope it was given to you. And because I know you haven't had a chance to contact me, but if not, then we can always rectify that.
Thank you very much, Drew. Another thing, so and this is something that really bothered me. Was that. And you might think this is pity. But I don't see it that way. I see it as being irresponsible. Me as a senior citizen. We get school passes to all sports. A pass was issued out to all council members on 12/20 of 25. I just received mine last week. And I had already asked for it a couple of times. And for some, whatever reason, it must have not mattered to anybody. Because I just got it last week, and sports are already over for the year.
Ruben, that was not given to you last week.
Yes, it was.
By-
Ask Jerry, ask
Who
Jerry,
handed it to
he
you?
gave it to me, Jerry gave it to me, and he didn't even hand it to me. He kind of just threw it down on the counter like that. And that right there really bothered me.
I wasn't aware of that.
But how come the city had it, that has nothing to do with the city, nothing to do with the school.
Because they dropped them off.
Probably because they never saw Ruben, they probably never saw it at the games as well.
Office personnel saw me,
They didn't never give it to me, I got it from.
School.
office personnel, they saw me, they had it there in the office, at the city hall.
I wasn't ever even told.
I went to a game, I showed up to the game, actually. To give it to my daughter and stuff, I went to the game one day, he told me.
I was told that city hall had my pass. I went in there twice and asked for it, and I never got it until just last week. That's what I'm saying. It might be pity, to people like, to people, but it's not pity to me. Because that pass is issued for a reason. And for me not to get it till after the sports is over, it's uncalled for. It's like, it doesn't matter to anybody. Like, who cares if you get it or not? That's the way I see it.
But that wasn't the intention. I don't think,
First is.
Well, if it was-
Well, we're gonna-
December, when did the school actually give it to you guys?
not till January, after I was elected. But after we were sworn in. It was brought to the office.
Okay, so that's 2 months ago. Roughly, almost 2 months ago, and I barely got it last Thursday.
Well, I'll make sure to look into that. As to why it was given to you last Thursday.
You know, last week there was a meeting at the high school that had to do with water quality. And that meeting was advertised. A lot of people knew about it. But I was very disappointed knowing that we have a water issue here in the city of Mapton. Knowing that we have to educate ourselves so that we know what we can and what we can't do as far as the water comes, as far as the water is concerned. I was very disappointed because I was the only one that attended that. And it was open to the public, it was advertised, there was a poster at the post office. There was one at Wheeler's, and nobody attended it but me. That's why this gentleman came down today. To inform you guys of what was going on. Because if I wouldn't have spoken to him that night. He wouldn't have came down and you guys would have never known nothing. And those are things that we as a council need to start attending to educate ourselves so that we know where we stand and what we can do. And it's frustrating when nobody even makes an effort. I can understand that maybe some people couldn't go for whatever reasons, but come on. There's 5 of us, 6 of us with the mayor. And I'm the only one that attended? That's unfortunate. You know what, and we gotta do better than that. As a council, we have to do better than that. We need to commit ourselves to our positions that we were voted for. We gotta take it serious. We can't just come in here and just because we're council members. We're here for a reason. We were elected for a reason. People in this town elected us because they figured that they could depend on us to speak for them. But when we don't attend trainings that are important, trainings that are educational, then what good are we as council members?
That wasn't a training though.
It was open to the public. It wasn't a training, it was an open forum meeting to anybody,
Informational.
informational. We had farmers from outside of town that came in. We had people that came in from Grandview. We had a lady that came in all the way from the Tri-Cities that works for a Spanish radio station. If people like that can come, why can't people from Mapton show up? We had people here from Mapton that showed up. We had a translator. I mean, everything was there. We need to commit ourselves to do better as council members than what we're doing and what we have done in the past. In the past, I think you guys were, I don't know, it's like your guys' hands were tied. You felt like there was a whole lot that you guys couldn't do or say, but you know what? Now you can't, you don't have to worry about that anymore. So I hope that from now on, we start committing ourselves to educate ourselves and to attend some of these meetings, some of these trainings, because they are very informative. You know, so, but then again, that comes down on you guys if you guys really want to take this serious, because I take my position serious. And I know that sometimes I'm gonna come around like bossy or whatever, but those ain't my intentions. My intentions are to get answers to my questions. My intentions are to represent the city of Mapton. And that's what I'm here for. As of right now, that's pretty much all I gotta say, but. You know, it's disappointing. Sometimes, I mean, it's disappointing. I mean, it is. I don't know how you guys see it, but it's pretty disappointing that we can't work as a team to do better for the city. That's all I gotta say.
I have a comment on that last thing that Ruben was talking about. I found out about that too. I couldn't make it, unfortunately, I could not make it, and I was hoping more council members and mayor would show up to that meeting too. Like I said, last year, you know, if you don't wanna be associated with a certain group or something because of whatever reason, we need to put either our differences aside or afraid to be said that, oh, you're with these people, and do what's best for the Mapton. Cause it was about water.
Yeah.
And we do have a water problem in Mapton. And, when I found out that nobody went either, except for Ruben, I was a little upset. I was sorry I couldn't go myself, but we need to work with these outside groups who wanna help Mapton.
And I will say this,
Any group who wants to help Mapton, and they have brought people from other,
Yeah.
from far away to come and help to educate the people of Mapton, and unfortunately, nobody in the city.
I will say this, that organization that Sophie's talking about didn't have nothing to do with that meeting. That meeting was conducted by somebody else, and the people that came down to do the talking was a specialist out of Central Washington, out of Ellsworth, the university. Some students that were doing the DS on water quality. And the person that's doing, there's a person that wants to know if he can schedule an appointment to come and take a tour of the wells and to test the wells free of charge. So I can give you his information. You can call him and make arrangements, but he would like to do that as soon as possible. Because they're willing to do, that was the reason this meeting was set up, for the community, for the city of Mapton, to try to make these better as far as the water quality goes here. And those are things that I myself take on the responsibility to look into these things, to see what I can get set up, to educate myself and educate anybody else that wants to get involved. That's why I do the things that I do. Because like I said, I'm here for the city, not for myself. So if I give you the information, I would really appreciate if somebody would reach out to this person and make arrangements. And I told him that I'd get back to him probably tomorrow. So that's where we're at with that.
Okay, so I have just have a few questions, or comments and questions,
Councilmember Sotelo?
thank you. One comment that I heard from a citizen out there that when somebody calls the city and asks us to talk to the mayor, either the mayor's not available or the person they need to talk to is Sophie. Make sure you tell them it's Sophie, the city treasurer, not Sophie, the council member, because then they go around saying, well, who's mayor there, Sophie? They got me and this is what I heard, they're saying, who's the mayor, Sophie, me, or mayor, the mayor Martha. But it's a mayor, it's a treasurer they're talking to, and neither of us is the mayor. But they're talking about Sophie the treasurer, just let them know it's Sophie the treasurer, not Sophie the council member, that we need to speak to. Library, what's the update on library?
Actually, I have a meeting, tomorrow with Candelaria at 11.
I know there's money out there available to help pay the cost of the library. I don't know what we have to pay that in full ourselves, but I know there's money out there that'll cover half the cost.
At the end of the year to figure something out, because we only paid for 1 year.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if there's any help out there that we can reach out to, we need to do that to save the city some money. And use that money somewhere else where, where it's a priority. Not to say that the library is not a priority, because it is, but if there's anywhere where we can get help financially, we need to reach out to those resources.
Councilmember Alvarado.
Yeah. I have a couple of things. Thank you, Chief, for this.
Oh, yeah.
Very informal. Thank you to Mari, getting my packet to my door. I was wondering, can the fire department chief come too? Or Sophie with a laptop? Because she's sick too.
Yeah, okay.
I've been hearing around that they're doing an audit on this already.
No. My understanding is, Lola, that audit should be sometime around mid-March or early April.
And there'll be I will invite two or more council, I think it's two, is it two or?
It's
Two council members for intro and for, so. Exit, I'm sorry, yes, exit.
That's it for me.
One more thing I want to say is that this is my first time as a council member. But I will tell you guys this. I'm a lot more educated than people think. I'm a lot more aware of what goes on in the city and what we can and what we can't do than what people think. There might be questions that I might ask because I'm not really sure. But I do my research before I say anything. That way I don't make myself look like a fool and I don't end up eating my own words. So when I do speak, it's because I know what I'm talking about. So that's who I am. I'm not gonna speak just to speak. I'm gonna speak because I know what I'm talking about. And I just wanted you guys to be aware of that.
Council members Zavala.
Chief, I read that something about you were going after some grants, can you?
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned, I just emailed, the executive assistant to Representative Mendoza to see where we were at when they were gonna make the decisions on what cities get the local community project fund. So I did it towards the end of the day, so I'll probably get something back tomorrow. And that's for the remodeling of the police department. And then the other one that we did through Legends Casino, I believe this coming month in March, they should know whether we got something or not. Well, I hope so. I hope good for me.
Are we talking about gutting that out or?
Kinda, it'll be a pretty in-depth remodel.
Good, that's good.
Yeah. It'll be same structure, same framing, but it'll be a lot newer and we asked for an awning in the front to make it so we can, during the nice spring, summer, hang flowers or whatever, just to
Yeah.
make it look more inviting when.
More presentable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcoming, there you go.
council member that appointed?
Sophie took my question.
Uh,
I was wondering about the library.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said.
I
we'll
haven't
have
heard
that.
anything
Yes,
about it, so.
we have a meeting with Candelaria tomorrow. And so
That's for that grant money. Did anybody check in on that grant money for the library? I know
That's
Ruben
what
gave- Ruben
you
gave the
talked about.
information. Oh, that's.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be
Okay.
bringing that tomorrow.
Yeah, very
Change
good.
word with paper.
If there is no further business, I will adjourn this meeting at 8:45 PM. Thank you.
Well, this one is not wages. Oh, you didn't take that. I know that. Yeah.
Good night, everyone.